Okay, a quick update video. Uh, I am basically in limbo still. I found a really great place last week, but the way I make my income, a lot of people are nervous about it because they think that it's not guaranteed. Well, guess what? Nobody's income is guaranteed. And I kept my job and actually worked more during the pandemic than I did when it wasn't the pandemic, and paid every bill and paid it on time, and that doesn't count for anything. Um, it's like the math is just different math than what everybody else deals with, because I don't have this is I make $70,000 a year minus taxes, minus payments on X, Y, and Z, because I don't have any payments, and the figures I have are all after taxes. So, I don't know what the equivalent would be. I guess add a third, and then it could maybe be equivalent, but then everybody else has payments they make, and I don't know. It just doesn't work. I must admit, it feels like literally like months that I've lived in the basement in that place, and it has not even been 3 weeks. I did have one, I guess, positive. One night I just couldn't take it anymore, and I stayed at a hotel, which was an unbelievable disaster because the room they put me in hadn't been cleaned, and I had to actually pack everything up and move, and it was it was not good. It was and it was like a higher rate because it's summer than I would have paid on any other trip that I've ever gone. Can't remember the last time I paid that much for a hotel room, and it wasn't even clean. It was terrible. But anyway, you see, my creepy landlord, who is watching me out the window all the time, apparently he thinks I'm a slut because I didn't come home. And so since I went on and stayed at that hotel, he has completely stopped with the watching me out the window and monitoring me. I mean, that's a positive. However, as you can see, it's raining. And we had been in a drought. And see, I mean, it really wouldn't have mattered because seriously, I was in such a desperate point. It was a matter of living in my car, living in a tent, or taking whatever garbage crap place I could find. It was very dry in that basement because we were in a drought. And now it started raining. And basements are like basements, so now it's started to get more and more damp. Not fun. I'm telling you, it's not fun. I'm working a ton, and I consider that great. I'm working out of the house, and I consider that great. I mean, that might be a problem once I get settled wherever I'm going to get settled, that I won't, well, they'll still, I'll still have such a hard time. I mean, right now it's about a half-hour commute to work. I really liked it when it was like 10 minutes. Like, get ready and just go to work. Maybe I can have that type of situation again. You really get used to being like that close to work so that you don't have this much of an issue. But if basically I've taken one day off. That was the day I actually stayed in a hotel because I couldn't stand the idea of being in a basement without lights. I was like, I gotta go someplace. So I had one day off of work. My commuting back and forth is at least an hour total a day. Um, it's taking up a lot of time. Um, and I appreciate that a lot. I mean, this is the thing, is that the stress level is crazy. Also, I it depends who you work with, and like my super stressful supervisors, more or less. I mean, every once in a while you get a bad egg because I don't work with the same people because everybody else takes days off, right? Um, but basically, I've been having decent supervisors, which is a massive change. I mean, I had true psycho, um, unbelievable supervisors, and a lot of people are actually taking off of work. So, like, the really annoying people just aren't there. I'm not dealing with them. So the workload is crazy, but I didn't mind the work. What I do when I actually work. You know what? This is the thing. When my kid was in school and I was having so many problems, it wasn't him. I mean, yes, okay, when he went through puberty, it was really bad. But for the most part, when he was growing up, it wasn't him at all that was the issue, even with his autism, even with, even going to the appointments and stuff. Didn't mind that. It was interacting with his teachers, his therapists, and his doctors that was a pain in the ass. My work, it's not bad, but it's the interacting with the coworkers and the supervisors that make it terrible. Um, I mean, it does kind of help that we're in a weird flux period. Usually we get this huge number of people that are like, ooh, it's summer, I got nothing to do. And they all come in. But that didn't happen. So they are recruiting from all over the company, and, people that normally do completely different types of situation, are in the same department. And yes, it is weird that I'm still in basically the same place, and I haven't moved around at all. But again, that's avoidant personality disorder for you. Is underemployment. It used to actually be a part of the diagnostic criteria. If this is a normal company, you're not ever. I mean, I would turn it down. I'm telling you now, I'm not interested in being supervisor and having that type of position at all. But to move up in the company, you have to move to a different department. You have to be willing to move around. And I have done it a little bit, but I'm definitely not like, it's a temporary thing. It's not like, oh, I'm completely changing departments and going from here to here. That's how you move up in the company. I am not doing any of that crap. I'm staying right there, and I'm the longest tenured in my department. I mean, we get people that leave and come back, and we get people who go to different areas and departments and then come back and that sort of thing. So there are people that have worked cumulatively for the company longer than me, but in this one place, I'm the most tenured person in this one department, in this one place, consistent, you know. I don't know if that makes sense. Because everybody's like, well, I've worked this much and I've worked that much. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, 10 years ago you worked 2 years and now you've come back for 6 months. That does not mean that you've got 2.5 years. But that's, I mean, it's the same thing as the way I do the math when I am trying to find an apartment. I'm just much more straightforward, I think, than all this, oh, well, I'm going to give you an inflated number and I'm going to assume that you know to drop out, you know, at least half of that number, and then you've got my actual available money, as opposed to I'm going to tell you this is my available money, this is my cash influx every single month, this is what I can use. I mean, that would be, but nobody would tell the truth about it, you know. I don't know, but it's the same sort of thing at work anyway. But right this moment, I'm grateful for having work, because it is a place to go and it's something to do. Because I'm telling you, I cannot believe it's not even been 3 weeks that I moved into this place. It feels like months and months and months. You know, I believe it was a month ago. And that's, I mean, it's like it can't be right. But it is right. A month ago, I was in Ireland. I can barely remember it. It seems so long ago. It seems like years and years ago I was in Ireland. That was 1 month ago. You know, they've said if you want to live forever, what was it? I'm going to say this wrong. I think it's Bartleby the Scrivener was this old story about somebody who had the world's worst, most boring job on purpose because he wanted to live forever. And that every hour that he lived was like 2 weeks to anybody else. So it really did feel like he was living forever. It's that kind of thing. I mean, the time has just stretched. It's just bizarre to me how much time stretches, and it stretches in the other direction. I mean, it's like in 2 months from now, I'll be on my next trip going to California. And that feels like it could never happen. I mean, it's all done. It's all paid for, everything else. I mean, even if I'm completely homeless, I'm going on that trip. The same as the one that's in November, December. I mean, it's all paid for. So why wouldn't I do it, right? I'd definitely be staying in a better place than I'm staying right now. But it feels like that's years and years down the way. It's just unbelievable. But the avoidant thing, you know, not having the cats is an issue. It makes me feel hopeless because I've got no interaction with anything. Work, thankfully, it's like a revolving door. And so it's kind of okay, you know, that I'm having other people to interact with, because again, it's actually one of the people keeps showing up and I'm like, oh man, you know, this, oh man, you know, this might, because again, every day feels so long. So it's like, okay, if I've interacted with the same person 4 out of the last 7 days, it feels like, oh crap, we've been working together forever. Oh crap, this is like a work relationship thing. Oh no. That sort of thing. It is really funny. I don't sort of pick up on when people think of me as their friend until I've made it clear that I don't think they're my friend, and then they're like, oh, well, done with you. Again, avoidance. I have no idea if this is going to pick up. I keep hearing that there's problems with the audio. It's probably the case that I'm using. I don't know. So this might be like a muffled garbage, and what was the point of making it? Other than that, you now know I'm still posting, so I'm alive. You know, I haven't been sucked, all of my blood out of my body by these spiders in the dungeon I live in. I haven't been murdered by the landlord yet. Give it some time. Anyway, that's what's going on.